Hi, hello, good evening, my young officers. Welcome to this YouTube channel called as Unacademy Current Affairs. This is Nisha Nujumudeen, your educator in Unacademy, one of the top plus educator in Unacademy, an expert in Indian economy, current affairs and MCQs. So today in this particular session, we'll be doing the daily news analysis for the month of January 2021. And now this DNA class will be on a daily basis, and today is January 5 and we'll be discussing the current affairs of all the important newspapers, the Hindu, the Indian Express, the PIB, the Rajya Sabha TV, sab kuch under one umbrella. So now this is a holistic course which will enable you people to have a better understanding of the prelims plus the mains examination perspective of current affairs. Because we all know that current affairs is the soul of UPSC. No matter be it for prelims or for mains, and for every subject they are highly connected. So this particular session will happen every day at 8 p.m. and you will have a quick revision of your current affairs done along with the 360-degree coverage of concept, and also making a point that all the basics which are connected with your current affairs topics are also covered. Let's say for example you are studying economy, some static concept came in. So now without knowing the static concept there is no point in knowing the current affairs, right? You will not have a clarity. So a complete understanding of the basics and concepts will be covered in this particular session. And towards the end of the class, we'll have some practice questions like MCQs of the day, 2-3 based on what we discussed, and also a homework for you, that is the mains answer writing question. Okay? And this is a continuous course. So here we go guys with the topic wise coverage of current affairs. One of the most important and interesting part which is to be said to you people is, normally you can see newspapers which has been analyzed via the normal pattern, like taking a news, analyzing them, etc, etc. But to be a little different, like how I actually do in your special classes for your MCQs, that is multiple choice questions, I teach you a trick called as keyword elimination comparison, right? Similarly, for your current affairs class also there's a little of trick in Kallatram there guys, and that is called as a JEFT method. It's not JET, it is actually JEFT. G stands for General Analysis of Current Affairs topic across all these subjects of UPSC. If it is coming in the current day's newspaper, after the general analysis, that is I'll be telling you what to study from that particular topic for your prelims and mains. Once that is done, we'll go to the editorial analysis. Okay, you may come across a lot of topics in editorials, but the most important one for that particular day, day's news, I will take into consideration, which is having a lot of relevance for the mains answer writing perspective. Once we have done that, we'll move on to the F of JEFT method, that is discussing prelims facts of the day. There are some topics which will come only for the prelims examination for UPSC. Okay, we'll be discussing important facts hardly in 5 to 6 points, just like that. Finally, we have T, which stands for tidbits, that is all the left out or miscellaneous topics of your newspaper we'll be doing. So in short and simple term, I can tell you that we will be doing a complete coverage of the current affairs just like that in less than 1 hour. So everything in a capsule format will be given to you as well. Notes will be given to you via handy format. So now, very simple, you can just follow me via Telegram channel. The name of my channel is Nisha Nujumudeen at Unacademy for UPSC. In the description box, you can just go across, go through all the links of the various platforms to follow me, Unacademy profile, Telegram, etc, etc. Okay, you can just search via this name as well. Apart from all those, you all know I'm also one of the Unacademy's top educator. So we educators are coming under one platform with a lot of batches. Okay, now the batch courses by us, you can avail them, and currently a lot of batch courses are happening. To get a holistic coverage of the current affairs, of the economy classes, of the MCQ classes, very simple. Go for subscription and use the code nisha.nujumudeen for getting extra discounts, and also for the personal mentoring program. Clear? Any doubts, queries, just contact me via Unacademy and the Telegram channel. So now apart from that, for the month of Jan, we have some special classes being launched. So 6 to 7 p.m. will be the special class timing on top 1000 Wala MCQ series, and YouTube daily 8 to 9 will be your news analysis, and 9 to 10 every day will be the plus courses. So these are the timings guys for the month of Jan, have a note of it. And there will be so many free classes happening from the month of Jan. That's a New Year surprise for all of you. The schedule of that will be shared very shortly, and that will be mostly during the weekends. Okay, In a very short period of time, we'll be covering the entire current affairs of every month via MCQs and 360-degree coverage, etc., etc. So wait for the big show, guys. Okay. So now it's current affairs time. Come on, my young officers. How is the Joes? Yes, Sindhuja, Shweta, Varma, Arul and all. Yes. Yes, Ranjani. Hi, Revnath. Yes, Anurag, yeah, you will be having the carnival from morning, 9 a.m. to evening 7 p.m. Back to back, you'll be having the carnival class, no doubt in that. 6 classes a day, as I promised you before, will be there at Unacademy platform. So yes, my young officers, get ready for your prelims, mains, interview, guys, with me, and make sure that yes, you're selected for your Upsc CSE. So let's crack Upsc CSE, guys, with Unacademy. So now, here it goes, guys, the current affairs class. Are you all ready? Chalo, great going. So here it goes, guys. We have the DNA of Jan 5, 2021 by me. So now, sab kuch, the Hindu, the PIB, the Indian Express, everything along with the basic concepts will be covered in this particular class. I hope if you want to watch my special classes, as you all know, you have got the way, etc., like using the invite code Nisha Nujumudeen and all. If you have any doubt, please feel free to connect. Okay. So now in today's newspapers, if you see, from biodiversity and environment, okay, you had a topic of discussion. So here it goes, guys. So the very first topic of discussion in today's daily news analysis class is based on biodiversity and environment. That is, it was based on a report. What report? The State of Climate Report 2020. Which is published by the IMD, that is none other than our country India's meteorological department. So now based on that, you're going to study. So from the prelims perspective, it is very, very important. What you should study? You should study regarding various climate report. From the mains level, based on GS Paper 2, your conservation, environment pollution, etc., etc., you have to study in a broader perspective. But mostly for prelims perspective only, from such kind of report and indexes, questions can come. Okay. Now, here it goes. Why this particular report was published, why it was in news? The context is as per the Indian Meteorological Department, okay, their State of Climate Report, the year 2020, the previous year, it was considered as the 8th warmest since our country India started keeping records in the year 901, which means the previous year was too hot, guys, no doubt in that. And if you see this particular State of Climate Report, okay, what do? They actually look at temperature and the rainfall trends every year. So based on that, they can have a better prediction, be it the hot weather or the cold weather. Clear? Now, how can we say that the previous year 2020 was the 8th warmest year? Here are the reasons, guys. If you see the average temperature for one particular year, if you see during the year, every year the annual average temperature in the country will be around, let's say, 0.29 degrees Celsius, which is above normal. And if you see, it was compared to 2016, it was much lower. That is why they remain the warmest every year, guys, since after the record which our country had based on this temperature recording since 901. So after that, 2020 was having a recordical break, and if you see such temperature trends, okay, they were reported in spite of what? The cooling effect of La Nina. So you have in the year 2019 prelims, guys, when I taught you current affairs, I would have taught you regarding El Nino. Remember? El Nino, La Nina, all these are important hit list topics. So now, in spite of the cooling effect of La Nina also, such kind of variations in temperature. It is too hot last year, we all know that, right? Now, what is this La Nina, by the way? La Nina is nothing but it typically has some sort of cooling effect on the entire global temperature. But this La Nina, they are extreme phases, be it your La Nina or your El Nino. They are two different extreme phases of El Nino. And the southern oscillation, that is your cycling perspective. Take care. So now, in spite of that being cool also, we had such kind of temperature fluctuations. Clear? And what is this ENSO cycle, by the way? See, southern, El Nino and the southern oscillation cycle is nothing but a periodic fluctuation. So it keeps on varying. That too in the sea surface temperature. When that happens, automatically what happens? The air pressure of the overlying atmosphere happens across what? The equatorial Pacific Ocean. And they have too much of influence on the weather and climate patterns like your heavy rains, flood, drought, sab kuch. Clear? Yes, Amal J. Bhaskar. Yeah, I am Amalyali. Yes. So yes, very clear. Chalo. Now, when we actually compare a country, India's climate, okay, or the temperature to the global average temperature, if you see, our country, India, come on, we nearly recorded a 0.3 degree rise, which was less than the average global temperature rise of 1.2 degree for the months Jan to October. And this is a data given by the World Meteorological Organization State of Global Climate. And I have just given you some data regarding the warmest years over India. If you see, 8 warmest years were for our country, and the year 2020 was the 8th recordical year, where you can see your country India in the peak with a lot of heat weathers and all. In the year 2016 you had, 17 you had, 10, then 18, 19, etc. And if you see the past decade for 10 years, that is 2011 to 20, come on, that was the warmest on record. You had pricking hot sun hitting you like anything, right? That's a point here. Clear? Now, why does such extreme weather even happens? If you see, apart from the hot scorching sun, if you see, some of the extreme weather events is like extremely heavy rainfall, floods, cold waves, thunderstorms, all these things. What happens when such kind of unexpected or let's say extreme weather events happen? Now, automatically it lead to what? A significant or important loss of lives and property. Again, as per the report called as Preparing India for Extreme Climate Events, which is released by CEW. Who are they? Council on Energy, Environment and Water. They said that over 75% of districts for our country, India, they are the hotspots of what? Of extreme climate events, which means that there are more probability or chances for rains, floods, cold waves, sab kuch to happen. Now, this happening of this is not a big deal. But when that happens, automatically the lives of people, the property, everything is disturbed. You understand? That's the whole logic. And if you see out of our country, India, the few important states, in fact, the bigger states and the weaker states like, Bihar and the bigger one like UP, they reported the highest casualties. And that is just because of your lightning, cold wave and thunder last year. And this year also it is said that reportedly UP is having the very worst cold climate there. People are, shivering and chilling like anything. Now, the next topic under this, climatic events talks about data on tropical storms. If you see globally or in a worldwide perspective, the Atlantic Ocean, I can tell you, it experienced one of the most active years with over 30 tropical storms originating here. And what about the Indian Ocean region, guys? The Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. Together, these two, they reported 5 cyclones. Very, very important for your, prelims current affairs perspective. Your Amphan, Nisarga, Gati, Nivar, Burevi. Very recently, you had all the cyclones in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, in West Bengal and all. The same thing. And out of these cyclones which we experienced in the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, Nisarga and Gati were formed in the Arabian Sea. Whereas your Amphan, Nivar and Buverina, they are in the Bay of Bengal. Clear? And Nivar was in Tamil Nadu and all. Remember, I have taught you this. Now, what about the Indian Meteorology Department? Because if you see all this climate report, that, this, etc. based on weather is put forward by IMD. So, it's always important for you to know a little about IMD, hardly 3 points, because in your prelims examination, consider the following perspectives. Okay, you may get a question based on the ministry who publishes this particular report on climate and all. So, you should know that your IMD was established way back since 1875 and they are an agency of all guys of Ministry of Earth Science. People may think that they come under the Ministry of Environment. Though they are connected to environment also, they exclusively have a ministry called as Ministry of Earth Science of Government of India. Please look into it. And what are the responsibilities, guys? It's not just forecasting. Apart from that, the principal agency that is IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, they are responsible for meteorological observations, weather forecasting along with seismology. Very, very important. Please note it. For the prelims examination, again, this could be one of the key words which can be given to twist you, that they are also responsible for seismology. So you may think it is also part of it. Clear? And this particular news, guys, I have taken from the newspaper Indian Express. So very beautifully the article was given. It was around half a page, near about 1/4, little long. But I have comprised into hardly 2 to 3 slides with beautiful, short points. Clear? I hope it is crystal clear for you people. Now, here comes, guys, the most interesting topic of discussion. Every time, whenever I take IR for you people, when India, Pakistan, China, sab kuch come. So whenever IR is there, people love IR, right? The IR current affairs. Because we study IR or international relations by connecting, the Kauravas and Pandavas and the Shagunis. That is, China is always like Shaguni of your Mahabharata story, where that particular country will try to find every nook and corner to keep instigating Pakistan to move against India, taking into consideration the Cold War between these two countries, right? So yes, here it goes. Yes, Shivam, IR is always fun, because in our plus class also IR was very fun. We had a Kurukshetra war field for IR when we studied. The same thing happens here also. So the next topic of discussion of today's DNA, that is 5th Jan 2021, is from IR. And the topic is Iran. Here we are going to talk about Iran, guys. Iran, Korea, or their fight we are going to talk now. That is, Iran is setting up uranium enrichment and they seizes the tanker. In this context, we are going to analyze. So now applying the JEFT analysis, again we are going to have a general analysis, guys, of the topic from IR. What is the context of the issue? If you see, the context of the issue of this particular, why this particular topic is in news is, the country Iran began enriching uranium, and that too up to how many percentage? 20% at the underground facility. And if you see, again Iran has resumed enriching uranium up to 20%, and that too, it is not legally. Sab kuch kallataram, I can tell you. Ekdam kallataram, in violation of the 2015 nuclear deal. Along with that, these people now, they are so smart. They began enriching uranium of 20% in spite of the violation they had in the 2015 nuclear deal, and they seized and attacked the South Korean flag tanker also, which is put up near the crucial Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz again is one of the most important hit list topic for UPSC prelims. Please note it. Clear? We have done n number of questions based on that. So have a look at it. Now, though this is the case of Iran and South Korea, guys, Iran has done such kind of atrocities also. What did USA do? The superpower, the Americans are so smart. They decided to keep the nuclear power aircraft carrier Nimitz in the Gulf of region, which is in the wake of threat from Iran. So smart they are, right? Because they are in the safer side. They took the, they could smell what was, the intention of Iran, and USA was quite smart in that. Now, from the prelims level, from this particular topic of discussion, study about uranium enrichment. And from mains level, under GS paper 2, they come based on bilateral groupings, international treaties, nuclear technology, etc., etc. Now, can you see Strait of Hormuz, guys? It's very, very important for your examination. Questions can come from this in the context of oil spill, and also in the context of geography I have taught you. Remember? So kindly go through it. Now, what is uranium enrichment, by the way? If you see, natural uranium, okay, you should understand what is enriching uranium. Without knowing that, if you keep on telling what is uranium enrichment, nothing will go into your brains. So let's simplify that quickly, guys. A little of look into the basics of what is uranium enrichment. Now, you all know what is uranium, right? This metal element uranium, the natural form of that, they consist of two different isotopes. One is nearly 99% uranium-238, and the other is only around hardly 0.7%, guys. Now, this U-235, that is a kind of fissile material. This metal being fissile, they can sustain what? A chain reaction, that to the nuclear reactor. Now, enrichment is what? Increasing something, right? Enriching something. This process now, when it happens in the context of uranium, what happens is that they'll start, yes Arun, they'll start increasing the proportion of U-235. And for that, they have used a process of isotope separation. And for the nuclear weapons, what they do is that such kind of enrichment, which is required up to 20% or more, they are known as highly enriched uranium or weapons grade uranium. Clear? Now, what about the 2015 nuclear deal in your context? That is why this particular issue was in news. You saw that they started enriching uranium in violation of the 2015 nuclear deal. So you will be thinking, what is this 2015 nuclear deal? It is very, very important. Yes, like how Arun in the class said, your JCPOA. What is that? Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. In that particular context only, again, this topic is connected. If you see in the year 2015, what did Iran do? Iran, along with P5 plus one group of world power, that is your UK, USA, France, China, Russia, Germany. What did they do? They agreed on a very long-term deal on the nuclear program, and that nuclear program deal, which all these countries decided together, they came to be called as JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and in common parlance as Iran nuclear deal, because Iran took initiative. That is why it is called as Iran nuclear deal. And under this deal, what did Iran do? They agreed to curb or reduce all their nuclear activity. Otherwise, it will be a great hazard. Believe me, my young officers, fatafat, everywhere it will start bombarding. And that too, they agreed to reduce this nuclear activity in return for what? In return, they are very smart. In return for lifting of sanctions and access to global trade. They were prevented from doing all those. So now, they said that okay, we will reduce the nuclear activity what we have, but in return for that they have to, all the restrictions that this is placed on the country that should be taken off. At the same time, they should have a very wide flexibility in having accessibility towards the world or global trade. This was their demand, which was granted. Clear? Look at them, guys, how smart they are. They have a plan for everything. That is, you can connect this to this movie also, this Bahubali movie, where you have this Bahubali and the other partners, the opposite, Balla Deva, right? Where they have a plan. They want this. If you give me that, I will do this. If you don't give me that, I will do like this. You understand? Similarly, Iran is also like that. If you give us this, then we will do this. Otherwise, we won't do. Kuch nahi, nothing we will do. You got the point? So smart. Anyways. Now, what happened under this nuclear deal? Under this nuclear deal, come on, Iran, after putting forward their, conditions, etc., they agreed to reduce or curb the nuclear activity. Now, this agreement, they allowed Iran for what? Allowed the country Iran to start accumulating or gathering small amount of uranium. For what? For the research purpose. Though the agreement allowed Iran to, allow them to collect small amounts of uranium also, they banned the enrichment. Come on. Enrichment is increasing uranium. This is again bad for the economy and environment. You got it? And that is used to make reactor fuel and nuclear weapons. So, in a way, when you start promoting the enrichment or increase of uranium, you are encouraging to manufacture nuclear weapons, which is a big hazard not only for Iran and the neighboring countries, for the entire globe. Any now and then, this Iran can, start a war against other countries where we are not ready with the nuclear weapons and all. They are kind of building themselves with all the weapons as such. Clear? And thus, under this deal, Iran was also required to redesign the heavy water reactor, which has been built. And if you see in the year 2018, what did USA do? They are so smart again. That time Trump was there. They abandoned, guys, the deal, criticizing it as flawed and reinstated the tightened sanction. That is, USA, and honestly, the deal was not that bad and all, but still, Iran was so dominating, they were so demanding. Now, Trump got his hyper high and he said, no, nothing is required. Let us completely thrash down the agreement of nuclear with Iran, and let's tighten all the sanctions what we actually freed for this Iran. And let's not allow them to do any of the, let's not allow Iran to have an access to global trade. And let's not let them produce any of these, nuclear things once again in a higher manner. Clear? This was the, goal or aim they had. Now, apart from that, some issues were also involved. One is the dual incidents, which came in between the tensions between Iran and USA. Because when USA did, do you think Iran will keep quiet? Come on, it's something like USA is ordering Iran, they felt. So, a lot of tensions and fights happened between Iran and USA because USA said all this deal has been highly flawed and criticized, and suppose it took it away. Now, uranium enrichment couldn't take place. And it said that this enrichment could shorten Iran's time it would take to develop a nuclear bomb. And thus, Israel, now Israel, the Palestinian issues. You can start connecting the Palestinian issue with Israel, guys. What did they do? They are smart. They started criticizing when they got a chance now. They want to criticize and put the blame on Iran for their enrichment. What enrichment? The uranium enrichment or increasing their decision. But still, Iran, they went forward with their decision and started to enrich to 20% purity more than 10 years ago. And that nearly triggered an Israeli to strike targeting its nuclear facility. In spite of telling them not to do also, still they are doing it. So Israeli got, it triggered Israeli strike targeting, which went against Iran again. Clear? And the tension between this, these countries, USA, Israel, Iran, all just boosted up along with the 2015 nuclear deal. Clear? So Iran is the focus and other countries are against it. Fine? Now, where can you find such kind of things? If you see, talking about the geographical location, it is a waterway separating Iran and Oman, linking to the Persian Gulf, to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Okay. And the north coast of lies Iran, and south you have the UAE, that's the Middle East country, and Muslim and the enclave of Oman. And this strait, which is Strait of Hormuz, guys, they are 21 miles wide at the narrow point, but the shipping lane is just 2 miles wide in either direction. You can just go through all these for your understanding. Now, we are talking about the Strait of Hormuz. You'll think that what ma'am is talking about. I'm talking about the Strait of Hormuz, which is a very, very important hit list topic for UPSC, guys. Many questions we have done on this. Clear? Yes, Arun, what does IAEA means? IAEA is International Atomic Energy Agency. Previously, if you see, they expressed a lot of serious concerns regarding Iran's, Iran's blocking of inspections of 2 suspect locations. That is, when they understood that Iran is doing kallatarams and they're still enriching uranium, it is banned for them not to do it. Maybe they can use uranium in small amount, but they, when the banning and all came, they started doing kallattaram, and International Atomic Energy Agency, and they found out. But they kind of, somehow escape from that. Clear? So that is the whole point. Is it clear, Menarun? What about the others? Yes, Silra, Sindhuja, Revnath. What about the others? Couldn't find people. Now, regarding the Strait of Hormuz, what is it all about and why is it so important, guys? Because, see, this Strait of Hormuz now, it is one of the world's most strategically important choke points. And there could not be a point which will not connect the Strait of Hormuz if you want to pass through the main line. That is why it's very important. If you see, 2/3 of oil and half of LNG, that is liquefied natural gas, Indian imports, guys, what are we are importing? They come through what? This Strait of Hormuz. And this Strait of Hormuz is lying between Iran and Oman. And if you see, oil is one of the most important resource. What kind of resource? The non-renewable resource for a country, India. Because we are lacking that, only we are importing, right? So we cannot, go against anything that will prevent us from importing this, oil. It passes through Iran and, where Iran, Oman, and Strait of Hormuz comes there. So you cannot completely go against Iran as well. So now look at India. Did you find anywhere India is against the, or India is banning such uranium enrichment of Iran? Never. India is smart. They will support USA, they will support Israel, they will support every other countries, and indirectly we people are so smart where we will want to ban Iran's such kind of uranium enrichment, but directly we will not. The reason is because for us, for the import of oil and half of LNG, we need the Strait of Hormuz, which is put between Iran and Oman. So we will not go directly against them. You got the logic? So smart, na? So that is something which we have to appreciate as an Indian, guys. So smart. Ekdam, dimag na kharab nahi hai. Ekdam theek hai. And if you see, 18 million barrels of oil, they pass through the Strait of Hormuz every day. Come on, every single day, yaar. And which means that they account for 1/3 of the global oil trade. And if you see, 1/3 of world's LNG trade, they also passes through such kind of strait, the Strait of Hormuz. Clear? Now, what can you do in such kind of situation? Strait of Hormuz is very, very important, no doubt in that. But at the same time, you have issue of this Iran as well. What will you do? The way forward suggestions is that all countries which are a part of the 2015 nuclear deal, deal matlab nuclear deal they mean, they should engage constructively and start solving and resolving all the issues peacefully and through dialogues without entering into any fights, jagadas, etc., etc. And thus both USA and Iran, that is USA is the one who banned Iran from using it, right? They must act with strategic restraint, because if any crisis or issues happen in West Asia, not only that region will be affected, but it will have a very bad effect, guys, or impact on the global affair as well. Because USA is one of the superpower, you understand. And as far as Iran is concerned, oil is coming, Strait of Hormuz is coming. where it is the oil route. You cannot play with that also. What if they completely block or do something? The entire global activity will be affected where other countries are connected. You got the point? And this news is taken from the Hindu newspaper. Clear? It's indeed a very interesting topic, right? People really love, guys, such kind of topics of IR. Anyways. Now, we are done with the GEFT analysis. We are done with the general analysis from today's papers. Now, we are moving on to the next part of GEFT method, which deals with editorial. So, let's have a quick look in editorial. Come on, guys. Come on, my young officers. Quickly tell me what will be the editorial discussion of today. All of you kindly open your newspapers, either the Hindu, Indian Express, whatever. But for editorial, I will suggest you the Hindu because that's the amazing source, or you can always get. Now, there are so many topics coming under editorial, but couple of topics we already discussed. So now, the next focused one is which? Think, you should be able to find out. See, this newspaper analysis class, now it's not just a routine to give you some notes and all. Through this, I am enabling you to understand how to study news in less than 1 hour, what to study, from where to study, and how to choose the topics. There is no need for you to study everything under the earth and sun as far as news is concerned. Only what is pertaining to the examination, and for you to choose that and understand that, continuous practice of learning current affairs with me is required. So don't miss any classes live. Okay? So I can see Rajani saying it is FATF, Financial Action Task Force. Really, Rajani? But though that was there also, I kind of took another topic. It talks about the maximum governor. That is, I have chosen the editorial of today's discussion based on polity subject. Maximum governor. What is the context, guys? Why it was in news? If you see the Kerala governor, Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan's frequent use of his powerful oratory to defend the center and question of the state and sensitive topics is the thing. Based on that, really, we are going to discuss the editorial. And one more thing, mostly as far as editorial topics are concerned, you will get questions based on editorials for mains answer writing. Kindly refrain from writing what is given in the newspaper as it is. Editorial is what you know. Let's say, for example, I am writing an article or you are writing an article. Okay. So, it is based on your point of view. Though you are diplomatic, though you are balanced also, editorial is something where a personal touch will come, where the person's biasness will appear. So, you should understand the topic, study it like a theory, and then apply your own logic in that, be it the positive or the negative ones or a balanced one. You understand? So always study editorial like that and start analyzing them from a broader perspective. If the author is supporting the positive, you think about the negative and then compare with the positive and find out the answer why the author was supporting the positivity of that particular topic. That is the best way to study. Clear? Yes, Vishnu, your opinion is more important. Now, if you see regarding governor, come on. This governor of Kerala, guys, Mr. Arif Muhammad, currently he is using so much of power. So it became the talk of the town, and why is he having the maximum governor power? A lot of talks went on. So in that particular context, really, this editorial news was put up. If you see, this governor basically, as far as polity, NCERT is concerned, who is the governor? The chief executive head of the state. And the governor holds what? A very good constitutional position. And the recent incidents from the Kerala governor, guys, was that this Kerala governor, Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan, he started using his office to criticize the state government. See, what nonsense is that? Sitting in this office in the government thing, why would you do that publicly? And he defended the central government on certain issues. And that have called into question the role of governor in a federal setup such as India. The meaning of that is this fellow, this particular person, what he did is like, just like that, if he was not in such a position, then he can say his opinion. When you are in such a kind of position, you cannot be biased. You cannot appreciate one government and put the other government down. And that too when you are the governor of Kerala again, for that particular state. So that took forward a very, heated debate. But doesn't mean that the person is bad, okay? If you see Mr. Muhammad Khan sir, okay, Arif Khan sir, he is also kind of, knowledgeable, talented. But, sometimes, controversies, discussions, that the media can turn the person into bad as well. So that has happened over here. Clear? Now, but here the question is very simple, guys. India is federal. We cannot have a single rule over here. It is federal. So in that setup now, things were evolving. In that particular context, really, this was brought out. And the controversial circumstances for the Kerala Governor Khan was, he actually had a selective usage of issues where he will start defending and criticizing the government. and that became a very recurrent feature in his tenure. That is always he used to, kind of defend and criticize governments. Either he'll defend the central government or criticize state government. So it's kind of, it became very controversial. And it was said that the governor, under the legislative powers, he or she can summon or prorogue what? The state legislature. But though the governor is having such kind of power also, guys, as per the polity, the Kerala governor, Mr. Arif Khan, what did he do? He refused to convene a special session of what? The Kerala Assembly. And that too, the Kerala government, currently Pinarayi Vijayan's government, they requested him to do. But he said, no, that cannot be done. So he was very arrogant there. That again started a heated, controversy against him. Because he was not listening to them now. That again shooted out a big issue. And then this person, what did he do is like, he further went on questioning. Why there is a need for such kind of session? Why should you keep that? If the government say doesn't mean that I should do it. He started saying all those things. You understand? And then he passed a comment which is even more, heated up. That is, he said, the assembly lacked the jurisdiction to offer a solution, which means the government can never provide a solution. So you just imagine the ruling government is there, and just like that, this person with a lot of guts is saying, come on, this jurisdiction of the government which is ruling cannot offer a solution to the problems. He will be screwed like anything. Don't you think so? That is what happened. But in one way, he was not irrational. He was focusing on the real issue of farmers' protest. Okay, an issue which the assembly wanted to take up for discussion. But he said that they lacked such kind of jurisdiction to give a proper solution to such kind of farmer protest is happening. That again aggravated what the tensions and issues between the Kerala governor and the Kerala government as well. Clear? And it was a kind of abuse of his authority, guys, when he refused to convene a session in spite of the request by the Kerala government. That was something which heated up the issue. And then what happened was like there was a deadlock between the two. That was thankfully resolved upon the state government submitting amended request, which was then later accepted by the governor, that is Muhammad Arif Khan. Now, there is something called as partisanship. Mr. Khan previously, he even questioned, very smart he is, he questioned the Kerala Assembly resolution on the Citizenship Amendment Act, and he went on publicly and defended the CAA and the Farms Law, which is a very clear deviation from the constitutional duty. See, when you are in power, you shouldn't do something. But this person was so strong enough and so bold enough to just go like that. And we are in a federal setup. You understand? In a federal setup like India, you shouldn't do all this. See, you are powerful, you are having the authority, but there are some times where you have to act diplomatically. But what I felt basically is, see, many a times Mr. Khan did not use the diplomacy tactic. Hadn't he used it, probably this issue would not have been heated up against the governor. Here, nobody is worried about the farmers' protest or about the CAA Act or anything. They worried about Mr. Khan, the Kerala governor, who did all this. You understood how the issue has turned up. So he could have used a little of his brains and be a little diplomatic. But maybe he would have had his reasons for that. And also one more thing is there. You need to think that India is federal. Exactly, Shivam. Yeah, exactly, Sindhuja. Kind of overreacting, outspoken, too much outspoken. See, you can be outspoken, but that doesn't mean that you can talk anywhere, anything you want. Basically, that's the thing what I will say. But he did that. So, from my point of view, if I was in his place, literally, I would have thought a little diplomatically, because you need to balance everything. That is why, guys, in your UPSC, you study something called as ethics. You should know, from your individual point of view, from the government point of view, from the people point of view, you need to take a common decision. You cannot just be biased in one. Ethical decision, right? So there are some ways which this particular person failed to follow, and that is why the issue got heated up. Clear? And as far as the country India is concerned now, it is illogical to expect the state governments to toe the line of union government, and to assume that an assembly is acting unconstitutionally if it disagrees with parliament is not a sound argument. Keeping this in mind, come on, the issue again heated up. Clear? And if you see, such kind of acts by governor does not reflect well upon the constitutional position. See, the point is, he is in a constitutional position as a governor. So such kind of actions are not appreciated, because it is affecting the entire peace and decorum of the state and central government as well. Clear? Yes, Ramya? Yes, Vishnu asked a question. Miss, he is representative of central government, right? Isn't he supposed to defend central government? See, In a way, every one of you are, when you become a civil service officer, you are also representing central government only. You may get your postings in different cadres, different state, different district. Doesn't mean that you're only looking onto the state. You are representing India as a whole. You understand? But there is a way for it. Just like that, you cannot openly, publicly be too outspoken. You can do that as a citizen of India. You have every single right of freedom of speech, expression, vagera, vagera. But it is said in Tamil that Edam Por label. You should know how to behave, guys, based on situation, circumstance, people, your position, etc., etc. Otherwise, you will be ending up in trouble from the media, from the other political pressures like this. When you don't do anything, it's people are trying to put you down. So when you do something, just imagine simple logic. Clear? Yes, Arun is saying he condemned Rajiv Gandhi's folly on Shah Banu case. Yeah, he was, even did that. That's well known to all of us. Anyways, but he was more focused on this farm laws, okay. So if you see the Kerala government, okay, along with the, in unison with the opposition, they sought to repeal the recently enacted farm laws. And that was based on what? The grounds of agriculture. And they said that it is a state subject. It is not a central or a kind of state subject. And it's a matter that seriously affects the state. So definitely the bill should have been discussed in a meeting. The governor cannot even say that there is no need for such kind of meeting, and the governor cannot insult saying that there will not be a solution provided by the state. That was the only reason why they focused on Mr. Khan, and the issue started heating up. Clear? Is it very clear, my young officers? So from this, what did you understand? Learn to be diplomatic. Because at the end of the day, diplomacy only will win. Because no matter you're outspoken, no matter you're that, this, etc., etc., you should know how to act, when to act, what to do. Too much of a thing will also put you in trouble. It is said that Amida Mailam Amrita Vesham, that is too much of a good thing, Amrita also, after one point of it will become poisonous. So better be careful. That's the whole point. Simple logic. So thus, to conclude, I can tell you that though the governor is nominated by the president, guys, by a warrant under his hand and seal, he is what? The governor is an integral part of the state legislature. Along with that, the governor is also normal executive, who functions with what? With the aid and advice of State Council of Ministers. So how can he completely go against it? It becomes a question mark. And thus, the important or the primary role of the governor is nothing but to exercise his role as the head of the state executive and not as the agent of Senate. Do you understand? So I could see Vishnu asking, ma'am, he is appointed by the central government, so he should defend the central. Did you understand, guys? What is the meaning of governor? You are supposed to represent the state. You are the head of the state executive. You are not an agent of center that you will completely thrash the state, whichever state, Kerala, Tamil Nadu or Andhra or Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, whichever state you are. You should be the executive state and support the state. You should be in favor. You cannot say criticizing the state where you are the head and defend the central government saying that you are appointed from there. It doesn't make a logical statement. It's not logically correct. You understand? Simple thing. And thus, the behavior of this Kerala governor, Mr. Khan, it had literally put forward or set a dangerous precedent, and that actually tarnished the image of governor and also upset the federalism card. Completely his image was tarnished because of this. If you see the political perspective, if you see the Constitutional Act, if you see the other articles and all, there is a way a governor should be. So you are supposed to abide by that. Just like that, you cannot do things you want. You understand? That's the whole point. Clear? Manasilayo kuttigale. Now, we are done with the editorial analysis, guys. It's an interesting topic, right? Where we are kind of talking about the maximum power of government that has been questioned. And finally, we got to know that, come on, at the end of the day, it is about the diplomatic nature. It's not about the too much outspoken nature that wins the game at the end, right? So, under the GEFT analysis, general analysis, editorial facts and tidbits, we are here with the, one second, guys. We are here with the prelims facts of the day. The prelims facts of the day is bird flu confirmed in dead birds in Kangra. So now, one second. This is a fact of the day we are going to discuss today regarding bird flu. Very simple. It's from environmental, and the context is that migratory birds. Okay, they were found dead at a lake called as Pong Dam in Himachal Pradesh, Kangra district. And when they found dead, when they tested the bird, they were tested positive for bird flu. So in that particular perspective, we are going to study. It's from the health perspective, okay? And if you see Himachal Pradesh, again, they are the fourth state to report such kind of cases of the dreaded avian influenza in recent days after Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Kerala. In Kerala also you can see bats, birds, sab kuch. Oh my goodness, kitna bimari, what all disease you have there. Being my state, I'm telling you guys, always number one for that. Now Corona 2 is also more there only. Everything comes there first, then it gets spreaded. And if you see, around 1,800 migratory birds, they have been found dead in the lake sanctuary. And most of them, the birds now, they were the bar-headed geese. You know the bar-headed geese now? Not the other wala bar. Don't think that P.O. bar, okay? I mean the other wala bar. And if you see the southern state of Kerala, they have been placed in high alert after an outbreak of bird flu, which was confirmed in districts like Kottayam and Alappuzha. Very near districts to my place, guys. Pata nahi kya hai wo hai when this will happen. Yes, Arul, solluppa, ma'am, and the Shweta kuch. Okay, I'm happy for that, Minarul. I hope things work better for you. And thus, if you see, yes, Isna. Okay, thus if you see, the presence of H5N8 subtype of influenza A virus was reported even in ducks as well. Clear? Can you see, guys, influenza type A viruses, hemagglutinin, neuromendiasis, just to show you what it is. There are 18 known HA subtype and 11 known NA subtypes. X, Y, Z, whatever. These kind of influenza viruses now is very bad. Now this is very important. All the known subtype influenzas A virus now, they can infect birds, except the subtypes like H1, 7, N10, N11, etc. etc. If you see H1, 7, N10 and N11 now, basically you can find them in bats, and you had this disease from bats also in the fruits and all. You can connect that particular perspective in this as well. Clear? Now once you are done with the prelims facts, you have something called as tidbits. Matlab all the miscellaneous tidbits and bits of the day which we will study in the newspaper. So here it goes. The first topic of discussion from the tidbits of the day is a very small topic of discussion only, guys, just to make sure that we are covering everything in newspaper and not leaving out anything. DOE circular asked teachers to check weight of school bags. Oh my goodness, when we were studying also, now this was there, but nothing happened. Still we were carrying big books and only going, right? But now the situation has changed where literally an order has been put forward. DOE is the Directorate of Education. They issued a circular asking the schools to follow the school bag policy 2020, and that is released by the NCERT, guys. You know something, now there is no school, there is mostly it is online. So what is the point of checking the weight of school bag? Students are having their books on the table, then why would you check it? Come on, that was a joke said by one of my cousin's daughter. She was telling like, Mama, there is no school, then what is the point of the circular coming now to check our bags? When we were going to school regularly, nobody wanted to check. In Corona, why are they bothered? We are not having any weight on our bag, rather we are keeping it on our tables only. See, this is a mentality students are having. Anyways, now in that particular context, we are going to see. Okay, we are going to talk about see why the circular was put forward. If you see heavy school bags, come on, that is a very serious threat to health. We all know that, and also well-being of students, because it's like they are going for a labor, very monotonous and laborious work. They're going to study, not carrying loads of work and going. It can have an issue on their neck, their spine, their brain, mental growth, a lot of things like that. And because of their tiredness, they'll not be able to put forward their 100% efficiency in concentrating in the class, a lot of stuffs like that, okay? And their vertebral column and knees, all these things can have problems. That is why the circular was passed. Clear? And now people used to carry lunch box and water, right? Lunch you have to bring, but water is something which is a free resource. But these days, if you pay 10 rupees, you'll get at least get a small bottle of water. But it is said that in the circular, the school management is supposed to provide quality, I repeat, quality potable water to all the students. So at least the students can refrain from carrying water bottles from their homes to schools. Hot water, cold water, sab kuch, with that all the stuffs they have, purifiers they have. The next tidbit of the day is Vietnam buys Indian rice for the first time in decades. Come on guys, look at this. For the first time in so many decades now, Vietnam, because of their demand, they had to, and shortage, they bought Indian rice. That is, we are the rival for them, but still they started buying grain from us for the very first time. See, that is karma, guys. It's like a boomerang. After so many years, again they came back to us, right? That's a kudos for us. If you see, if I can tell you, Vietnam is the world's third biggest exporter of rice. India is the first one. And the recent development, after the local prices jumped to the highest in 9 years, things were different. And in the domestic supply itself now, the price increased just like that. No, people were not able to buy it, it was too costly, etc., etc. Automatically, the tightening supplies in Asia, the supplies in Asia got tightened. And this COVID-19 pandemic also aggravated the situation, which means that the price of rice could lift or increase in the current year 2021. And if you see, many traditional buyers of rice from Thailand and Vietnam now, they started switching to our country, India. And if you see, we are the world's biggest exporter of rice. And yes, so many of the countries which never used to get from us started getting from us as well. And if you see Indian price now, it is not that competitive. We are quite attractive. And the huge price difference is making exports possible. And if you see in the year 2020, India exported a record of 14 million tons of rice. That is also to be noted, which means that we are a huge reservoir of grains, rice grains for us as well as for the other countries. The next important tidbits of the day is manufacturing sector activity strengthened in December. That is, if you see the secondary sector of the economy, that is industrial or manufacturing sector, that is very important for the growth and development of our country, India, because the contribution towards gross domestic product is the highest there. So our country India's manufacturing sector activity now, if you see in the year 2020 December, it just boosted up like anything. There are a couple of reasons for that. Let's have a look into it. If you see, because of that, the manufacturers, they are stepping up production and input buying and putting forward all the efforts to rebuild their inventories following the business closures, etc., etc. Now there is an index called as Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index. That was at 56.4 in December, which is slightly higher than November as well. Matlab, we are improving every now and then. Even if it is by 0.1% also, there are a lot of improvement that we have done. Okay. So that's all, my young officers. We are done with the daily news analysis of today's class. Here we have the UPSC mains practice questions. Not much of prelims questions were there. So I gave you a mains question to practice. So write and come, guys. It's a homework for you. You can submit the answers via the Telegram channel, Nisha Nujumudeen at Unacademy for UPSC. The question is taken from the editorial, guys, from GS Polity. So within 250 words, you have to do it. The controversial nature of the position of the governor has made several experts suggest an abolishment of the governor's post. Critically examine. Look at the keyword. Like your keyword elimination comparison method, which I taught you for the MCQ class, and like the JEFT method, general analysis, editorial facts of the day, and tidbits for current affairs. For mains answer writing also, there is a technique. What is that? The KAI method, the keyword approach interlinking method. Now critically analyze is the keyword, right? Now whenever you have a keyword called as critically analyze, what will you do? You will talk about the issues and challenges, that is the advantage, disadvantage, or the benefits or issues and challenges. And since you spoke about the issues and challenges, definitely you should talk about what? You should talk about the way forward. Or I can tell you the methods, what can you do to actually prevent or to actually, solve this issue. Clear? So here also same thing, and then provide a balanced conclusion. I hope the editorial notes what I gave you is more than enough for you to prepare the answer for this. At least look the same thing, write and bring it out. Write it out once. So you will be able to understand how well you are good in presenting the answer. Clear? Yes, Ramya, definitely you will get the PDF in few minutes via my Telegram channel. And I hope you really enjoyed the class. So thank you so much, my young officers. So before winding up the class, here is a winding up quote of the day for my young officers to boost up your spirits and motivation. Here it is, guys, the motivational capsule of the day. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you, and listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. It's very important, right? Speaking and listening, both are important, but there is a way for it, where others will listen and you will listen in such a way that others would, others will love to speak to you. So keep calm and crack your UPSC CSE, my young officers. Thank you so much once again. A small reminder is that we are back to track. From tomorrow, guys, yes, we are starting with the 6 p.m. 1000 wala MCQ series once again with the Josh. And as always, 8 to 9 we'll have the current affairs. But from tomorrow onwards now, maybe I may start the YouTube class a little earlier. Though it is 8 p.m. also, I may start at 7:45 p.m. 15 minutes earlier. So because I have a plus class which happens at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I need a break of at least 15 minutes. And for more quality classes of current affairs MCQs, of more discussions of economy, that is etc. Very simple. Go ahead for a subscription, either for your GS or for the optional combo. There are a lot of offers, 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year and all. Just keep this in mind, Nisha.Nujumudeen or NishaYT10, which is my referral code. Not only my classes, a lot of batches are happening in Unacademy. New Year resolution batches, 6 month batch and 1 year batches and all for prelims and mains. Do not miss it. The most important advantage is that you come under the personal mentoring program by me. So do not wait. And all these classes, that is a 1000 wala MCQ class, it will happen actually in the Unacademy platform. For that, there is an invite code. Okay. What you do is go to Unacademy profile, and from there you can actually click on any of my free classes and apply the code Nisha.Nujumudeen, the same code that you actually do for your plus class, the same thing only. This is a free class. Click on that and you can just type the code and watch the class for free and download the links as well. Clear? Hey Shweta, yeah, thank you for that. So yes, Sindhuja, Ramya, okay, and make a point of sharing this link to as much as possible, so let so many people benefit out of it. So I hope all your queries, doubts is clear, and today's current affairs of the day is completely into your brains. So have a great day, my young officers. Till I see you tomorrow, same timing for the tomorrow's, that is January 6th current affairs, sharply at 8 p.m. Okay, and tomorrow 6 p.m. don't forget, you will be having your 6 p.m. regular free classes. So bye bye, good night and Jai Hind.